Replacing clips in events. You can replace the clips in audio events. Procedure. Do one of the following. Hold down Shift, drag an audio file from the File Explorer / macOS Finder and drop it onto the event. Click a clip in the pool, hold down Shift and drop it onto the event. Result. The clip in the event is replaced. However, the event edits remain unchanged. If the new clip is shorter than the replaced clip, the length of the event is adapted. If the new clip is longer than the replaced clip, the length of the event stays the same. Related links. Inserting clips into a project via drag and drop. Audio files and audio clips. Audio regions. Audio regions. Cubase allows you to create audio regions within audio clips to mark important sections in the audio. You can view audio regions in the pool. You can create and edit them in the sample editor. Note. If you want to use an individual audio file in different contexts, or if you want to create several loops from one audio file, convert the corresponding regions of the audio clip to events and bounce them into separate audio files. This is necessary because different events that refer to the same clip access the same clip information. Related links. Pool. Regions list. Replacing clips in events. Creating regions. Creating regions. You can create regions from several selected audio events or from selection ranges. Procedure. Select several audio events or selection ranges. Select Audio Advanced Event or Range as region. In the Create Regions dialog, enter a name for the regions and click OK. Result. A region is created in the corresponding clip, with the start and the end position of the region determined by the start and the end position of the event or selection range within the clip. Related links. Creating regions. Audio regions. Creating events from regions. Creating events from regions. You can create events from regions which replace the original event. Procedure. Select an audio event whose clip contains regions within the boundaries of the event. Select Audio Advanced Events from regions. Result. The original event is removed and replaced by events positioned and sized according to the regions. Creating regions. MIDI events. MIDI events. MIDI events are created automatically when you record or import MIDI in the project window. The in-place editor allows you to view and edit MIDI events in the project window. You can also view and edit MIDI events in the key editor, the drum editor, list editor, or the score editor. Related links. Project window. In-place editor. List editor. Key editor. Drum editor. Basic recording methods. Creating events from regions. Creating MIDI events. Creating MIDI events. You can create MIDI events by recording or importing MIDI into the project window. Procedure. Do one of the following. Record MIDI. Select File, Import MIDI file to import a MIDI file from your hard disk. Drag a MIDI file from the File Explorer / macOS Finder from one of the MIDI editors or from the MediaBay and drop it into the event display. Copy an event from a different Cubase project and paste it in the event display. Related links. Basic recording methods. Importing MIDI files. MIDI Editor. MediaBay and Media Rack. MIDI events. Parts. Parts. Parts are containers for MIDI or audio events and for tracks. Related links. Audio parts. MIDI bar. Folder parts. Creating MIDI events. Audio parts. Audio parts. Audio parts are containers for audio events. If you want to treat several audio events as one unit in the project window, you can convert them to a part. You can create audio parts in the following ways. Select the Draw tool and draw on the audio track. Press Alt/Op, select the Object Selection tool and draw on the audio track. Select the Object Selection tool and double-click on the audio track between the left and right locator. Select several audio events on an audio track and select Audio Events to Part. Note. To make the events appear as independent objects on the track again, select the part and select Audio Dissolve Part. Related links. Audio Part Editor. Parts. MIDI bar. MIDI bar. A MIDI part is automatically created when you record. It contains the recorded events. However, you can also create empty MIDI parts in the following ways. Select the Draw tool and draw on the MIDI track. Press Alt/Op, select the Object Selection tool and draw on the MIDI track. Select the Object Selection tool and double-click on the MIDI track between the left and the right locator. Audio parts. Folder parts. Folder parts. A folder part is a graphic representation of events and parts on the tracks in the folder. Folder parts indicate the time position as well as the vertical track position. If part colors are used, these are also shown in the folder part. Any editing that you perform on a folder part affects all the events and parts it contains. Tracks inside a folder can be edited as one entity. Note. To edit the individual tracks within the folder, you can double-click the folder part. This opens the editors for the events and parts that are present on the tracks. Related links. Event Colors menu. Group Editing Mode. MIDI bar. Editing techniques for parts and events. Editing techniques for parts and events. This section describes techniques for editing in the project window. If not explicitly stated, all descriptions apply to both events and parts, even though we use the term event for convenience. In the project window, you can edit events using the following techniques. By selecting and using one of the tools in the project window toolbar. Note. Some editing tools feature additional functions if you press modifier keys. You can customize the default modifier keys in the Preferences dialog Editing Tool Modifiers page. By opening the Edit menu and selecting one of the functions. By editing on the info line. By using a key command. Note. Snap is taken into account. Related links. Editing tool modifiers. Folder parts. Auditioning audio parts and events. Auditioning audio parts and events. You can audition audio parts and events in the project window by using the Audition tool. Procedure. On the project window toolbar, click play and select play. Click where you want playback to start and keep the mouse button pressed. Optional, select Media, MediaBay, and in the previewer section, adjust the preview level. Result. The track on which you click is played back starting at the click position. Playback is stopped when you release the mouse button. Note. When auditioning, audio is routed directly to the control room if the control room is activated. If the control room is deactivated, audio is routed to the default output bus, bypassing the settings of the audio channel, effects and EQs. Related links. Project window toolbar. Previewer section. Editing techniques for parts and events. Scrubbing. Scrubbing. The scrub tool allows you to locate positions in events by playing back, forwards or backwards. Procedure. Click play. Click again to open a pop-up menu. Select scrub. Click the event and keep the mouse button pressed. Drag to the left or right. Result. The project cursor moves correspondingly and the event is played back. The speed and the pitch of the playback depend on how fast you move the mouse. Note. Insert effects are bypassed when scrubbing with the mouse. Related links. Project window toolbar. Auditioning audio parts and events. Scrub tool. Scrub tool. Scrubbing can be quite a burden on your system. If playback problems occur, open the Preferences dialog, Transport Scrub page, and deactivate Use High-Quality Scrub mode. This lowers the resampling quality but makes scrubbing less demanding on the processor, especially with large projects. In the Preferences dialog, Transport Scrub page, you can also adjust the scrub volume. Scrubbing. Selecting with the Object Selection tool. Selecting with the Object Selection tool. Procedure. Click Object Selection. In the event display, click the events that you want to select. Note. You can also use the up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, or right arrow keys on the computer keyboard to select the event on the upper or lower track or the previous or next event on the same track. Related links. Project window toolbar. Event display. Scrub tool. Combine selection tools mode. Combine selection tools mode. The Combine Selection Tools mode allows you to combine the Object Selection tool and the Range Selection tool. This is useful in situations where you often switch between these tools. If you activate Combine Selection Tools on the project window toolbar and the track height is set to at least 2 rows, the vertical track height of each track is divided into 2 areas. The mouse pointer changes automatically from Object Selection to the Range Selection tool and vice versa according to the track area where you click. If you move the mouse pointer to the upper area of the track, the Range Selection tool is activated and you can select ranges that are independent from event and part boundaries. If you move the mouse pointer to the lower area of the track, the Object Selection tool is activated and you can select entire events or parts. Note. You can also activate/deactivate the Combine Selection Tools mode by pressing Alt-Shift-1. Related links. Project window toolbar. Setting the track height. Creating a selection range. Resizing events with the Object Selection tool, normal sizing. Resizing events with the Object Selection tool, sizing moves contents. Resizing events with the Object Selection tool, sizing applies time stretch. Selecting with the Object Selection tool. Select submenu. Select submenu. If the Object Selection tool is selected, the Select submenu features specific options for selecting events in the project window. To open the Select submenu, select Edit, select All. Selects all events in the project window. None. Deselects all events in the project window. Invert. Inverts the selection. All selected events are deselect, and all events that were not selected are selected instead. In loop. Selects all events that are partly or wholly between the left and right locator. From start to cursor. Selects all events that end to the left of the project cursor. From cursor to end. Selects all events that start to the right of the project cursor. Equal pitch all octaves/equal pitch same octave. These functions are available in the MIDI editors and the sample editor. Select controllers in note range. This function is available in the MIDI editors. All on selected tracks. Selects all events on the selected track. Events under cursor. Automatically selects all events on the selected tracks that are touched by the project cursor. Select event. This function is available in the sample editor. Left selection side to cursor/right selection side to cursor. These functions are only used for range selection editing. Note. When the range selection tool is selected, the select submenu features different functions. Related links. Select menu for selection ranges. Range editing. Event display. Combine selection tools mode. Removing events. Removing events. You can remove events from the project window. Procedure. To remove an event from the project window, do one of the following. On the project window toolbar, activate Erase and click the event. In the event display, select the events and select Edit, Delete. In the event display, select the events and press Backspace. Related links. Project window toolbar. Select submenu. Event movement options. Event movement options. Cubase provides several methods to move events in the project window. You can move events using any of the following methods. Use the Object Selection tool. Use the nudge buttons. Select Edit Move and select one of the options. Select the event and edit the start position on the info line. Select multiple events and use the Set Spacer between selected events function. Related links. Moving events with the Object Selection tool. Moving events with the nudge buttons. Move submenu. Moving events via the info line. Setting spacers between events. Removing events. Moving events with the Object Selection tool. Moving events with the Object Selection tool. You can select one or several events with the Object Selection tool and drag them to a new position. Procedure. Select Object Selection. Click the events that you want to move and drag them to a new position. Note. You can only drag events to tracks of the same type. If you hold down Ctrl/CMD while dragging, you can restrict the movement either horizontally or vertically. Result: the events are moved. If you moved several events, their relative positions are kept. Note: to avoid accidentally moving events when you click them in the project window, when you move an event by dragging, the response is slightly delayed. You can adjust this delay with the drag delay setting in the Preferences dialog editing page. Event movement options. Moving events with the nudge buttons. Moving events with the nudge buttons. You can move one or several selected events by using the nudge buttons on the project window toolbar. Prerequisite: you have activated the nudge section in the project window toolbar. Procedure: click the points to the right of the nudge section. The nudge buttons become available. Nudge buttons. In the event display, select the events that you want to move and do one of the following. Click Move Left or use the corresponding key Command Control/CMD left arrow to move the events to the left. Click Move Right or use the corresponding key Command Control/CMD right arrow to move the events to the right. Result: the selected events or parts are moved. Related links. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. Project window toolbar. Snap grid. Ruler. Ruler display format menu. Grid type menu. Moving events with the object selection tool. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. You can set up an independent snap grid just for nudge operations. This way, you can perform all editing with the mouse using a musical, tempo-related grid that is set to bars plus beats, while all nudge operations and corresponding key commands are based on a linear, time-related grid. Prerequisite: the primary time format on the transport panel is set to bars plus beats. Your project contains some parts or events that you want to move to a time-related position. Procedure: right-click the project window toolbar and activate nudge. The nudge settings become available on the toolbar. Nudge settings. Open the nudge settings pop-up menu to select a time-related format for your nudge operations. Nudge settings pop-up menu. The settings linked to grid and linked to primary time format are deactivated. Optional: select project, add track ruler to add a ruler track. In the track list for the ruler track, select the same display format as for your nudge operations. This is not necessary, but it helps you to get visual control over your nudge operations. On the project window toolbar, click the points to the right of the nudge settings section. The nudge buttons become available. Nudge buttons. In the event display, select the events or parts that you want to move and do one of the following. To nudge the events to the left, click Move Left or use the corresponding key Command Control/CMD left arrow. To nudge the events to the right, click Move Right or use the corresponding key Command Control/CMD right arrow. Result: the selected events or parts that you nudged are moved. They snap to the linear grid that you set in the nudge settings pop-up menu. If you now move some events or parts using the mouse, these will snap to the musical grid that you set with the primary time format. Related links. Selecting the primary time format. Ruler track controls. Snap grid. Nudge. Moving events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events using the nudge settings. Moving events with the nudge buttons. Move submenu. Move submenu. If the object selection tool is selected, the Move submenu features options for moving events to specific positions in the project window. To open the Move submenu, select Edit Move. The following options are available. Event starts to cursor. Moves the starts of the selected events to the project cursor position. If you selected several events on the same track, the subsequent events keep their relative position. Event ends to cursor. Moves the ends of the selected events to the project cursor position. If you selected several events on the same track, the subsequent events keep their relative position. Events to origin. Moves the selected events to the positions at which they were originally recorded. Events to selected track. Moves the selected events to separate tracks starting on the selected track. The events are placed at their current positions. Events to front. Moves the selected events to the front. This is useful if you have overlapping audio events and you want to play back another event. Events to back. Moves the selected events to the back. This is useful if you have overlapping audio events and you want to play back another event. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. Moving events via the info line. Moving events via the info line. You can move a selected event by changing its start value on the info line. Procedure. Select the event that you want to move. On the info line, double-click the start field and enter a new value for the event start. Result: the event is moved by the set value. Move submenu. Setting spacers between events. Setting spacers between events. You can rearrange multiple events on a track so that they are at a specified distance from each other. Prerequisite: a track contains multiple events. The events are not locked. Procedure: select all events that you want to rearrange. Select Edit Functions, set spacer between selected events. Set the spacer in seconds value. Click OK. Result: all selected events on the track are at the specified distance from each other. Note: grouped events are handled like single events. This function does not work for automation and signature tracks. Related links. Locking events. Grouped events. Moving events via the info line. Audio alignment. Audio alignment. The audio alignment panel allows you to automatically match the timing of similar audio events or selection ranges that you want to play back simultaneously. Audio alignment enables you to match the timing of different instrument or vocal tracks. You can also solve phasing problems that occur when using different microphones on the same take. In post-production contexts, you can match the timing of a voice recording take or an alternative take to the production sound, for example. The audio alignment functions analyze the audio of overlapping events that you have selected for aligning and either use the warping function of the sample editor for time stretching or shift the audio. The audio alignment panel provides a match words option for aligning audio that contains identical wording. Its algorithm detects phonemes and syllables and allows for an exact word-to-word synchronization. The preferred time shifting option is especially suited for audio that results from the same recording, for example, in case of a multiple microphone recording. Whenever possible, it avoids time stretching. However, if necessary, time stretching is still used. Note: if time stretching is necessary, audio alignment uses the warping algorithm that is selected in the sample editor. If the audio already contains real-time effects, audio alignment allows you to bounce it first, keeping the existing effects, or to overwrite the existing processing. If the reference and target events overlap only partially, the target track is split and only its overlapping part is processed. If necessary, a crossfade is added and existing fades are removed automatically. If the audio is in musical mode, you must bounce it first. Audio alignment only works as intended if the audio to be aligned and the project have the same sample rate. Related links. Algorithm presets. Aligning the audio of events. Audio alignment panel. Musical mode. Setting spacers between events. Audio alignment panel. Audio alignment panel. On the audio alignment panel, you can select your reference and target events and make settings for analyzing and aligning the audio. To open the audio alignment panel, do one of the following. Click Open Audio Alignment Panel on the project window toolbar. Select Audio, open Audio Alignment Panel. Audio Alignment Selection. In this section, you define the reference and target events or selection ranges for the alignment operation. In the waveform displays, the overlapping time range between reference and target is highlighted. If multiple targets are selected, a pop-up menu allows you to toggle between their waveforms. Audio alignment settings allow you to activate/deactivate options for analyzing and aligning. The match words option analyzes phonemes and syllables and allows for an exact word-to-word synchronization. This option provides best results if the wording on the aligned events is identical. The preferred time shifting option is especially suited for aligning audio that results from the same recording, for example, in case of a multiple microphone recording. Whenever possible, it avoids time stretching. However, if necessary, time stretching is still used. Alignment precision allows you to set the degree of alignment. Reducing the precision can help to retain a more natural sound. Align audio. Starts the alignment operation. Audio alignment. Aligning the audio of events. Aligning the audio of events. The audio alignment panel allows you to automatically align the audio of overlapping audio events or selection ranges on different tracks. Prerequisite. Your project contains 2 or more audio events located on different tracks and overlapping in time. The audio that you want to align with the reference is not modified by VariAudio or audio warp operations. Note: if the audio already contains real-time effects, you will be asked if you want to bounce it first, keeping the existing effects, or overwrite the existing processing. If the audio is in musical mode, you must bounce it first. Procedure. Select the event or range that you want to use as alignment reference. On the project window toolbar, click Open Audio Alignment Panel. On the Audio Alignment panel, click Add Selection as Alignment Reference. Select one or multiple events that you want to align with the reference. On the Audio Alignment panel, click Add Selection as Alignment Target. The overlapping time range between reference and target is highlighted in the corresponding waveforms. If multiple targets are selected, you can toggle their waveforms using the pop-up menu. In the Audio Alignment Settings section, make your changes. Click Align Audio to start the processing. The target events are processed. Result: the audio of the target events is aligned with the reference event within the time range where the events overlap. If the reference and target events overlap only partially, the target track is split and only its overlapping part is processed. If necessary, a crossfade is added and existing fades are removed automatically. After completing this task, to visualize the result of the alignment in the sample editor, select the reference and target events and select Show All Clips as Clip Display Mode on the sample editor toolbar. If the result of the time stretching does not meet your expectations, you can change the warping algorithm on the sample editor toolbar. This algorithm change is instantly applied to the audio. Alternatively, you can use the free warp tool to align the audio events. Related links. Sample editor toolbar. Algorithm presets. Time stretch and pitch shift algorithms. Free warp. Audio alignment panel. Audio alignment panel. Renaming events. Renaming events. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select the events and type in a new name in the file field on the info line. Change the track name, hold down a modifier key, and press return to rename all events according to the track. Aligning the audio of events. Event resize options. Event resize options. You can resize events by moving their start or end positions individually. To resize events, you can use the object selection, the scrub tool, or the nudge buttons. Resizing also works if the combined selection tools mode is active. Important: when resizing events, automation data is not taken into account. Related links. Combine selection tools mode. Resizing events with the object selection tool, normal sizing. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing moves contents. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing applies time stretch. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events with the scrub tool. Snap function. Renaming events. Resizing events with the object selection tool, normal sizing. Resizing events with the object selection tool, normal sizing. You can move the start or end point of the event. Procedure. Select object selection. Click the object selection tool again and select normal sizing from the pop-up menu. Click and drag the lower left or right corner of the event. Note: if your event contains fades and you want to adapt their length while sizing the event, hold down Ctrl/CMD Alt/Opt. Result: The event is resized and, depending on where you dragged, more or less of the content is revealed. If several events are selected, they are all resized in the same way. Related links. Project window toolbar. Editing tool modifiers. Event resize options. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing moves contents. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing moves contents. You can move the start or end point of the event and move the content. Procedure. Select object selection. Click the object selection tool again and select sizing moves contents from the pop-up menu. Click and drag the lower left or right corner of the event. Result. The event is resized and the content follows. If several events are selected, they are all resized in the same way. Related links. Project window toolbar. Resizing events with the object selection tool, normal sizing. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing applies time stretch. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing applies time stretch. You can move the start or the end point of the event and time stretch the content to fit the new event length. Procedure. Select object selection. Click the object selection tool again and select sizing applies time stretch from the pop-up menu. Click and drag the lower left or right corner of the event. Result. The part is stretched or compressed to fit the new length. If you resize MIDI parts, the note events are stretched, moved and resized. Controller data and note expression data are stretched too. If you resize audio parts, the events are moved and the referenced audio files are time stretched to fit the new length. If several events are selected, they are all resized in the same way. Related links. Time stretch. Project window toolbar. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing moves contents. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. You can change the start or the end position of events. The setting on the grid type pop-up menu applies. Prerequisite. The object selection tool is set to normal sizing or sizing moves contents. Procedure. Right-click the project window toolbar and activate nudge. The nudge settings become available on the toolbar. Nudge settings. Click the points to the right of the section. The nudge buttons become available. Nudge buttons. Select the event. Do one of the following. Click nudge start left or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op left arrow to move the event start to the left. Click nudge start right or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op Shift right arrow to move the event start to the right. Click nudge end left or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op Shift left arrow to move the event end to the left. Click nudge end right or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op right arrow to move the event end to the right. Result. The start or end position of the selected events is moved and the setting on the grid type pop-up menu applies. Related links. Project window toolbar. Resizing events using the nudge settings. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. Ruler. Ruler display format menu. Grid type menu. Resizing events with the object selection tool, sizing applies time stretch. Resizing events using the nudge settings. Resizing events using the nudge settings. You can move the start or the end position of events. The setting on the nudge settings pop-up menu applies. Prerequisite. The object selection tool is set to normal sizing or sizing moves contents. Procedure. Right-click the project window toolbar and activate nudge. The nudge settings become available on the toolbar. Nudge settings. Open the nudge settings pop-up menu and activate a format and a value for your operations. Click the points to the right of the section. The nudge buttons become available. Nudge buttons. Select the event. Do one of the following. Click nudge start left or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op left arrow to move the event start to the left. Click nudge start right or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op Shift right arrow to move the event start to the right. Click nudge end left or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op Shift left arrow to move the event end to the left. Click nudge end right or use the corresponding key Command Alt/Op right arrow to move the event end to the right. Result. The start or the end position of the selected events is moved and the setting on the nudge settings pop-up menu applies. Related links. Setting up a snap grid for nudge operations. Selecting the primary time format. Snap grid. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events with the nudge buttons. Resizing events with the scrub tool. Resizing events with the scrub tool. You can scrub the event when moving the start or the end point of the event. Procedure. Click play. Click play again to open a pop-up menu. Select scrub. Click and drag the lower left or right corner of the event. Result. The event is resized and you get an acoustic feedback while dragging. Related links. Project window toolbar. Resizing events using the nudge settings. Splitting events. Splitting events. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select split and click the event that you want to split. Select object selection, hold down Alt/Opt and click the event. Move the project cursor to the position where you want to split the events and select edit functions, split at cursor. Note. This splits all events on all tracks that are intersected by the project cursor. If you select specific events, only these events are split. Set up the left and right locators at the position where you want to split the events and select edit functions, split loop. Note. This splits all events on all tracks that are intersected by the locators. If you select specific events, only these events are split. Result. The events are split. Note. If you split a MIDI part so that the split position intersects one or several MIDI notes and split MIDI events is activated in the Preferences dialog editing MIDI page, the intersected notes are split and new notes are created at the beginning of the second part. If split MIDI events is deactivated, the notes remain in the first part but stick out after the end of the part. Related links. Project window toolbar. Resizing events with the scrub tool. Splitting events repeatedly. Splitting events repeatedly. You can repeatedly split events into multiple events of equal size. Procedure. Select split, hold down Alt/Opt, and click the event where you want to make the first split. Result. The event is automatically split into as many equal events as the length of the original event allows. Splitting events. Using cut head and cut tail. Using cut head and cut tail. You can cut everything to the left or right of the cursor or a selected range. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select edit range, cut head to delete everything to the left of the cursor/selection range. Select edit range, cut tail to delete everything to the right of the cursor/selection range. Splitting events repeatedly. Gluing events. Gluing events. In the project window, you can glue 2 or more events on the same track. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select the events that you want to glue and select edit glue. Select glue and click the event that you want to glue to the next event. Select glue, hold down Alt/Opt, and click the event that you want to glue to all following events. Result. The events are glued together. Note. If you first split an audio event and then glue the parts together again, an event is created. In any other case, a part is created. Related links. Project window toolbar. Using cut head and cut tail. Pasting events. Pasting events. You can paste events from the clipboard. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select the events and select edit functions, paste at origin to paste the event at the same position from which you cut or copied it. Select the events, select the track where you want to paste them, and select edit functions, paste relative to cursor to paste the events while keeping their relative position to the project cursor. Result. If you paste an audio event, it is inserted on the selected track position so that its snap point is aligned with the cursor position. If the selected track is of the wrong type, the event is inserted on its original track. Gluing events. Pasting events to matching track names. Pasting events to matching track names. You can copy events in one project and paste them at the first track that matches the exact track name in another project. Procedure. Copy the events in one project. Activate the project where you want to paste the events. Select edit functions, paste to matching track name. Result. The events are inserted on the track with the name that exactly matches the original track name. For all events that have no matching track name, new tracks are created. Pasting events. Duplicating events. Duplicating events. In the project window, you can duplicate selected events. Procedure. Select the event and do one of the following. Select edit functions, duplicate. Hold down Alt/Opt and drag the event to a new position. Note. If you hold down Ctrl/CMD as well, direction of the movement is restricted to either horizontal or vertical. Result. A copy of the selected event is created and placed after the original. If several events are selected, all of these are copied as one unit, maintaining the relative distance between the events. Note. If you duplicate audio events, the copies always refer to the same audio clip. Pasting events to matching track names. Repeating events. Repeating events. Procedure. Do one of the following. Select the events and select edit functions, repeat to open the repeat events dialog, which allows you to create a number of real or shared copies of the selected events. Select the events, hold down Alt/Opt, click the handle in the lower right corner of the last selected event and drag to the right to create a real copy. Move the mouse pointer over the middle of the right event border so that it becomes a pointing hand symbol. Click and drag to the right to create a real copy. Select the events, hold down Alt/Shift and drag to the right to create a shared copy. Note. This applies to MIDI events only. Move the mouse pointer over the middle of the right event border so that it becomes a pointing hand symbol, hold down Shift, click and drag to the right to create a shared copy. Note. Repeating by dragging only works if the track has a height of at least 2 rows. Related links. Shared copies. Repeat events dialog. Setting the track height. Duplicating events. Repeat events dialog. Repeat events dialog. The repeat events dialog allows you to create a number of real or shared copies of the selected events. To open the repeat events dialog, select edit functions, repeat. Count. Allows you to specify how many times you want the event to be repeated. Shared copies. Activate to create a shared copy. Related links. Shared copies. Repeating events. Shared copies. Shared copies. Shared copies are useful if you want to create copies that are automatically edited in the same way as the original event. You can create shared copies by using the repeat events dialog. You can convert a shared copy to a real copy by selecting edit functions, convert to real copy. This creates a new version of the clip that you can edit independently. The new clip is automatically added to the pool. Related links. Repeating events. Repeat events dialog. Repeat events dialog. Fill loop. Fill loop. You can create a number of copies between the right and left locators. Select edit functions, fill loop to create a number of copies starting at the left locator and ending at the right locator. The last copy is automatically shortened to end at the right locator position. Shared copies. Moving the contents of events.